Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the Sandcap Guide podcast. I'm delighted to bring a good friend of the family and longtime friend of Max, Tadem Stewart. Tatum's a fishing guide. He's lived in this area his entire life. So welcome, Tatum. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what you do now. I understand you work with your dad. Is it you and your dad, or?
Yeah, so our company's name is Catch Me If You Can. We run out of Port Sanibel Marina just off the island. And it's me, my good friend Trevor, and then my father.
So 3 boats in total?
Yeah, we're down to 2 now. My father isn't fishing as much anymore, but Trevor and I are still working hard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's, just so that in case people don't know the different types of fishing here, I mean, we've got offshore, we've got near shore. Tell us a little bit about what the type of fishing that you do.
So we do anywhere from family fishing, trout, mackerel, ladyfish, snapper, snook, redfish, to I do a lot of permit fishing and tarpon fishing and offshore stuff. I prefer the more specialty side of things. Trevor's taking over more of the inshore stuff.
So by specialty, so we've got different seasons around the island, some tarpon. So explain a little bit about the specialty fish.
Tarpon season runs from about middle of April through end of June. We have fish earlier and we have fish later, but that's the most consistent time frame that we're going to have those fish. And then permit, I can catch permit pretty much any month of the year. They just travel around different wrecks and they're different sizes. But
tell me about a permit fish. Is it edible? I mean, obviously they are. Do people eat permit fish?
Some people do. I don't kill them personally.
Gotcha.
But permit are in the sport jack family. Right. So big round head. Have you ever seen a pompano?
Yes.
It's like a pompano.
Okay.
But add 40 pounds.
Oh, all right.
Oh, so they're big. So where are you getting those? Are they offshore? Are they,
anywhere from 5 miles to 20 miles offshore.
Really?
Different spots. They just move around.
So you have a flats type bay boat?
It's kind of like a hybrid. It's bay. I can run in 8 inches of water, and then I can go run out in 3-footers offshore comfortably.
Really? So how far will you go off? I mean, it's obviously weather dependent, but
I mean, I've taken it out over 30.
Right. Okay. But you can get decent fish. How far off?
I mean, we have plenty of close reefs within 5 miles.
And how long would it take to go 5 miles by boat?
30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, not too bad. Depending on the weather conditions.
Right, of course.
So if you're doing, so from where you are, which for those of you that don't know, basically when Tatum comes out of his boat, he's going to be coming out by the start of the Sanibel Causeway, but further about half a mile to your north from the causeway. Mm-hmm. That's where you come out. So would you fish your way up to, so a lot of the reefs are based off of Captiva, or not off of Captiva, but the northern end, because it's the closest part. So you would go up the back bay and then go out through South Seas through Redfish Pass?
If I'm going to fish my spots up north, I would go out of Redfish. Otherwise, I'll come down, because we have a lot of reefs off the lighthouse and then off the middle of Sanibel. We have a lot of reefs out there. We have Edison Reef, we have Dock Klein, we have the Causeway Reef, Rubble Pile, Belton Johnson, and those are all off Sanibel on the south side.
Gotcha.
You went to Edison Reef, Dad, didn't you? How far out is Edison Reef?
That's about 5, isn't it?
That one's like 9.6.
Close.
9.6.
Shows what I know. Amazing, I found it.
You scuba dove it, didn't you, Dad?
Yeah, I spearfished it. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
We have a really old video on the YouTube channel when you were spearfishing.
Yeah, I got a hogfish and I put it on the stringer underneath, and I thought it was a sharp tooth moment, but it wasn't. It was actually a Goliath grouper came up. It was hanging down as I was swimming along, and I could see these 2 Goliath grouper following me, and they were licking their lips looking at this hogfish that was on the stringer. And then they went out of sight for a minute, and the visibility was pretty short. It was only probably 15, 20 feet, and then all of a sudden I just got yanked backwards, and they'd actually come up underneath me and grabbed the hogfish, and then they moved me back about 6 feet in the water, and I'm not going to lie, my height rate definitely went up.
Yeah.
You can see it in the video. You literally just yank backwards.
Yeah, but it's fun. Scared. Do you do any spearfishing? Or
I do. I remember seeing that video a few years ago.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It scared the crap out of me. It really did.
And no dinner for us.
No dinner. No, well, I got it. It didn't get the whole hogfish. I still got it. It just had a bigger eye socket afterwards.
We had a Goliath grouper come up and try to eat one of our permit out in 60 feet of water. Came up off the bottom to the surface.
Off the bottom to the surface?
And breached the water.
It's something we should talk about, Goliath grouper, because this area is particularly famous for it. But
we actually have a trivia question about Goliath grouper.
Okay, good. Okay. But they're incredible fish. I mean, literally, they have huge mouth. They can be 7-8 feet long, hundreds of pounds.
Swallow a bear.
There's a video I saw the other day where I swallow a bear. Yeah, there's a lot of those in the Gulf of Mexico. There was a guy pulling up a small shark, and as he pulled it up, the Goliath grouper just bit it in half and snatched it off. They're incredibly strong fish. But this area is known for them, isn't it? They're a protected species. But tell us, do you ever go for them, or you?
If somebody wants to go catch them, I will. They're fun to do a few times, and you're just like,
I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Chinese food. It sounds like a good idea, but then a few hours later, you're not feeling so hot.
It sounds like a great idea every time until it's too late.
Right. And then you have to be careful with that. Obviously, it's a catch and release because they're a protected species, but you have to be careful with the way they come up as well, don't you? Isn't there?
Yeah, you're not allowed to remove them from the water. And then if you're anything past 50 feet, because that's where fish create buoyancy when they're air bladders, you have to vent them when they're going back down. Otherwise, they will float.
And what does that mean, vent them?
So you use a little tool. It's like a big needle, and you poke it behind the pectoral fin, and it pops the air bladder.
Really?
And now they're talking about doing a new thing. You have to use weights and a release clip and drop it down to a certain level, and it automatically releases. For a fish that size, I don't think you could do that. It'd take a lot of weight.
How long does it take to pull up a Goliath grouper?
Depending on the size, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. I mean, they get gassed out pretty quick. They're a powerful fight, but then they just tire out.
Oh, so you just got to play the long game.
Mm-hmm. Just keep steady, constant pressure on them, and you'll wear them out. My favorite way to do it is hand line. Take a big rope and a little piece of wire and a big hook, and drop your bait down with it, and wait for them to eat it, and then yank it, and then you start.
Really?
Oh yeah,
really.
Sounds like a good exercise.
I don't think they're too smart. Are they? I don't think you need anything too technical.
They'll eat pretty much anything.
Yeah. And they've got the biggest. I mean, you see I don't know what size bait you're using. Huge, aren't you?
I mean, bonita this big.
Yeah, and you look at it and you go, "There's no way a fish is going to eat that." Yeah. Believe me, it could go in there sideways 2 or long. You know, their mouths are literally ginormous.
Have you heard the thump yet?
What's that?
When you're diving, if you get too close to them, they actually make a thumping noise.
Really?
Like it sounds like an explosion underwater.
Really?
And what's that? What is it? A warning?
It's a warning
to stay away.
Back off. It's their.
Well, they slap them. They do it with their mouth.
It's something in their throat that they can make this loud. It's like.
Oh, really?
But it's extremely loud underwater.
Really? It almost seems like when you dive the reefs that they've become accustomed. They know they're not going to get shot or caught, or because they're not scared of you, are they?
No, not at all. No. I mean, I've had them swim right up to me.
Yeah.
I've had times where I've had to swim away from them. I'm like, it's getting a little close. Yeah. Sharks don't scare me.
Right.
But they do.
Yeah, they just got no fear. And that's why that one particular dive, I spent the entire time just looking out the corner of my eye. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah.
Speaking of shark, do you go shark fishing too?
Yeah, we do. A lot of times during tarpon season, people want to catch sharks.
They go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, the sharks follow the tarpon. So that's when we get those big hammerheads here all the time, big bull sharks, and they're super aggressive. So they're not that hard to catch. I mean, using stingray wings, or we'll catch a jack and cut the tail off, send it out, or something like that.
Right. So what's your favourite? We're going on the species that you like to fish, or the specialty fish species. What are they? Pompano, permit, and then tarpon. So tarpon is what this area is famous for, and I think I might be right in saying that it was the first recorded saltwater fishing, or what they called sport fishing, in the 1800s. Was that people would come down here and past presidents and things like that, coming up to Gasparilla and this area just to catch tarpon. Just to catch tarpon.
Yeah, they call him the Silver King, which I think is a cool name.
Do you know what they originally caught tarpon for?
No, go on.
Fertilizer.
No way. You're kidding.
They would catch them and they would use them in the plantations for fertilizer.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
No.
And they
That
didn't even
seems like
eat them back then? I mean, then
I
I
don't
guess
think
they're
so.
not good eating.
I mean,
but
they're too bony and it's just there's not much edibility to them.
That seems so sacrilegious to sport fishing to just catch a tarpon.
throw them on the land.
5 foot tarpon and then just grind it up and throw it on land. That's so horrible.
Well, then they had to eat.
It was a
That's
different
right.
time.
Yeah,
It is a
different time. Exactly.
Times change.
And did they still take the little scale, I guess? Can you do that still or not?
I'll feel for a loose scale. If I feel like one's going to fall off, I'll take it. Otherwise, I try to leave the fish intact without bothering them because I don't want to mess up their coat, their slime coat.
Gotcha.
If you go up to Yucatan Island, they have a bar there. It's a private island, but that was one of the early places that people, fishing people would stay. And if you go in the bar there, up on the wall, they take a scale which looks like it's about the size of a sand dollar.
Yeah, it's big.
And it's huge. And they actually write, the date of the fish and the time and who caught it. And they're actually all up on the bar on the wall
on
there.
little wooden plaques.
So that's what we're talking about, is that although you can't take the fish, they'll take maybe a scale and just...
and they're the size of your palm, some of them.
Some of them.
Huge fish. And we were going up to Yucatan the other week to do some photography up on the islands up there. And as we were heading north...
That's a tarpon scale.
There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Pretty big, the size of somebody's hand.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And we were heading north and we just saw like a mountain of boats just all on at one particular area. And then we figured it out that the tarpon were running in that.
Okay.
There must have been 20 or 30 boats all in one spot, just north of Redfish Pass, but on the back bay.
Oh, at Foster's.
Maybe.
Where Foster's Bay is? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the backside of North Cap.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the outside, there's a big bar there on the outside of the bar.
Yep.
Is that a good fishing spot?
What kind of bait do you use for tarp? Is it bait or do you
Yes. So this actually coming up, we've got our fall run starting mid-September through like November. We'll be seeing them in good numbers again. I use artificials.
You do?
That time of year, I only use artificials.
Why is that? Just...
They're eating little glass minnows.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So that's when we get those big balls of glass minnows running along the beach.
Oh, and that's where they're following them?
Yeah, so I throw big paddle tails through them, and you just reel them through the schools, and I mean, they love those things.
Really?
I like purple and black.
Really?
They love those two colors.
Yeah. Are they hard to find initially? Because they must school every day, do they? Or they?
Yeah. It depends how much they want to be seen. I mean, some days you'll go out and they'll be rolling all over the place, and they won't eat.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Even you see them, it doesn't guarantee you a fish.
No, I mean, and that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is that how finicky they can be. Some days it's great. I'll put 15 fish in the air.
Right.
Other days, I won't hook one.
Really?
And it sucks when you're out there for 10 hours with clients.
Yeah.
Fishing your butt off trying to catch these fish, and they just won't eat
do an exact same thing you did the day before, but it's not working.
And it could literally be the day before you had a fantastic day, and then you go the next day and they won't eat.
Really?
How is that dealing with customers if you just can't catch a fish?
Every customer's different. I've noticed the sport fishing and the specialty fishing clientele is more understanding when you have a bad day because they get it.
Yeah.
They're the kind that's like your hunters. They'll go sit in a deer stand all day and not see a deer and be okay with it.
Right. Yeah. They're just there for the appreciation of being outside.
It's not Disney World. This is real Mother Nature. Yeah.
Sometimes, though, you do get customers that just are not happy.
Right. Ooh, and then you're stuck on the boat with them.
Yeah.
So do you ever switch tactics if you give it like 3 or 4 hours, and do you then say, this isn't working, let's move on?
And I'll just go try to find more fish. Like if this school of fish won't eat and I've spent 4 hours trying to work this one school, I'll go find more fish.
Oh, it could be different from school to school. It's not just the tide or the temperature or the... So
your main factors are going to be tide, weather patterns, barometric pressure, actually the clarity of the sky.
Wow. Okay.
Water temperature. But your biggest one is tide. If you don't have moving water, they're not going to eat. Okay. And then the sky for visibility for fish? It's weird. When the sky is clear, they don't like to eat as much. When you got a little overcast, it seems like they want to eat more. Really? I don't understand that one. Yeah, that's bizarre.
There's so much that goes into it.
But we use crabs for tarpon, and then I'll bring out pinfish, I'll bring thread fins. I usually try to have every type of bait I'm going to use on the boat with me. in case they want something else. I'll bring cut bait. I'll bring it.
So just try anything.
Yeah. I mean, I've caught them shark fishing on wire.
Really?
Really?
On wire leader.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And what size are the tarpon generally? They go from what to what?
Average size we catch here are about 120 pounds. But you'll get them anywhere. I call fun size anywhere from 60 to 90 pounds. They jump. They jump a lot, and you're not going to break your back on them. They're a lot easier to catch.
But the big ones are the
big girls are the ones that aren't going to jump as much. They're anything over 150 pounds. They don't like to jump that much.
What's the jumping? Is that to why do they do that? That is what it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, they actually launch themselves out of the water.
And when you see them rolling on the surface, they're actually getting more oxygen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. They're taking a gulp of air.
What, even when this is just regular behavior, even when they're not caught, that's how you see them, isn't it? By seeing the rolls of the water.
Mm-hmm. And when either that or they're feeding, they're trying to. But when they're feeding, it's going to be a more aggressive. It'll be like a blow up instead of a roll. But when you're fighting towards the end of the fight, they'll come up and like get a gulp and go back down. And I always mess with people. I'm like, you just added 15 minutes by letting them do that.
Sure got them.
But that's incredible creatures. And then when we've dove many places and seen tarpon underwater, and they're the most graceful, incredible creatures ever. They just sit there, they're just so powerful, efficient. You know, right. It's just the real tiny movements, and they're just gliding through the water. Incredible.
Yeah. It's 100 million years of evolution.
Yeah.
That's seriously. Do you ever do the tournaments that they have around here?
Some I do. I did the Venture Out Tarpon tournament. I'm probably going to do the Ding Darling next year.
Right. Which is a big one for raise money for.
Yeah, Darling. That's a really good one. My buddy Eric Davis was the one who won this year.
What's the prize? Is it a?
Or no, did he? I don't think Eric did win this year. I don't know.
Let's say he did. We'll say he did.
The prize? No, he did win. It was. I think it was $35,000.
Wow. Oh, man. Okay, that's worth it.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Have you had any luck on the competition front? Have you done any?
I don't do enough tournaments to really focus on it. I might start getting in more into it now, but it just previously I've just focused on just working.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
On the grind.
So typical. So we're saying tarpon are when? May to
general season April through June.
Oh, so they're done already, are they?
But they're around.
They're around.
We have resident fish that are always here.
So where are they migrating from and to?
So they'll migrate from the Keys through here up to Tampa and then back down around.
Oh, so it's just following the cooler water. They're going back up north.
They're following water temperatures. I've noticed with the colder water temperatures, you're not going to see them roll as much. It's weird.
Right.
But it makes sense because there's more oxygen in the water.
Gotcha.
So you're not going to see them as much when the water's colder.
Gotcha. But you can still catch them year round or not really?
My buddy surprised me last December. Bo Johnson caught one like December 31st.
Oh, really?
You're insane.
But they're just not. They're not, and there's not the numbers of them to actually go after them.
Yeah, I mean, we can. It's not as
fruitful.
Likely, you're not gonna expect such great results.
Right.
So what else what else are you going for offshore? Like or specialty?
Snook offshore? Or is that more?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I don't know much about fishing, but I know everybody fishes for snook.
I've caught snook 20 miles offshore.
Really? See, that's funny. And people they'll do fly fishing off the beach and catch snook off the beach. Mm-hmm. But when you're spearfishing, you're always looking for structure. You're always looking for undulations underwater because that's where the fish hide. So if they're out in the open just running the sand bottoms, how can you possibly narrow down where they are? Or are you always looking for structure?
So offshore, you're looking for structure and bottom.
Yeah.
When you're
ledges
fishing, ledges, rock piles, wrecks. Mm-hmm. But when you're fishing the beach, those fish are following bait. So those fish that are moving along, they're following the bait that runs up and down the beaches.
Gotcha.
So you always hear about fishermen having their secret spots. Do you have?
I've got a few like special ones.
And if you think he's going to tell you about it, you're delusional. You're completely delusional.
You show us your
if you'd like to sign up to go on a chart, he'll take you to them readily. Probably only one of them, but not all of them.
Right, with my eyes closed, blindfolded.
Yeah, exactly. You have to lay in the bottom of the boat face down. I'll take you, but you're not going to know where you're going. But no, I mean, joking aside, well, if you were a tourist coming down, and you could say for somebody who's pretty good at fishing, maybe used to fishing the lakes up north doing bass or something like that, what would you say to them? What would be their best bang for the buck for a bit of sport fishing, something to get the adrenaline going
on their own?
Yeah.
Are we talking by boat?
Well, I mean, obviously, we talked about this the other day. Obviously, 100%, I'd recommend going with a guide first and foremost, because even I, as a non-fisherman, will see people fishing in spots that you're just like, ain't gonna work, you know. But you know, if
I say stay on land, if you're you're taking a day out of your vacation to go to on land on the island,
because there's some fun spots with some fast running water, aren't there? And
your most popular spots are going to be the Sanibel Pier, obviously.
By the lighthouse.
Yeah, by the lighthouse. Yeah. And then Blind Pass, those are going to be your two biggest that you see a lot of people.
Tons of people on the bridge.
Yeah, always fishing the bridge.
From Sanibel to Captiva.
Those fish are going to run along the jetty there and up and down the shore on both sides. So you don't have to only fish in the pass. Those fish are going to be moving along the whole way.
And I think there are a few people that actually just stay there for night fishing for shark around that corner, isn't there, towards the Turner Beach there.
Yeah, and then Sanibel Rocks is a really good one.
And where's that?
So beach access number 7, 8, and 9, I think it is. It's at the end of West Gulf Drive.
Right.
Okay.
As far as you can go. It's like the last beach access.
Right. Which is only you can only park there if you're a resident. So you'd either have to get dropped off or ride your bike.
Yeah, you can access it. You can access it. You just can't park there. So you just have to get a ride up there and get dropped off or something.
Yeah.
Bike.
Yeah, I had a couple of clients last year that once they got done with me, they're like, is there anywhere I can go fish off Sanibel? I was like, go Sanibel Rocks. And I dropped them a pin and sent it to them. And they sent me a picture of a 36-inch snook they caught.
No way. That's awesome.
They were happy.
That's awesome.
Those would be my probably top 3, though.
And then what sort of things are you going to get, say, in the pass? Like
in the
Blind Pass?
I mean, anything, snook, redfish. I've caught trout. I've caught Cubera snapper.
Really? I don't even know what that is.
13, 14-inch Cuberas. Cuberas are the snapper that get up to like 90 pounds.
Oh,
the
really?
Big ones. Down in the Keys, they use live lobster as bait. They drop it down.
What, they will eat a lobster whole?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, these snapper are this big.
Holy cow.
And I've caught like 13, 14-inch ones in Blind Pass. I was shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you ever go for sheep's head? When I used to visit as a child, my grandmother's neighbor, we used to take us sheep fishing for sheep's head.
Yeah,
I don't know if people actually, it's hard to say, sorry.
So sheep's head fishing, all the reefs around here in the wintertime, that's what a lot of us are doing, because that's the time of year we get a lot of people that just want to bring home a bunch of meat.
Right.
And that's sheep's head like colder water. I don't like the sheep's head fish until the water hits like 65 degrees.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, we would fish and then we'd bring it back and he would fry them up for us. Great.
Is that good eating?
Memories.
They're delicious. It's just there's a lot of bones, so you really got to take your time filleting them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to it, obviously, and we can bang them out real quick. But if you're not used to filleting fish a lot, just take your time and go through, cut out the bloodline, cut out the rib cage and the pin bones.
Right.
So we talked about Roosevelt channel on this
in a past episode.
And in a past episode. Which Roosevelt was it, Mom, that used to come down here?
Teddy Theodore.
And they used to fish for devil rays, right?
Right.
Do people still do that?
Which is
fishing?
I think
it's manta rays now is what they're called.
Right.
Okay,
does anybody catch rays? I don't know if you can. No. Can you?
I don't think you're allowed to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if that can be a manta ray. Isn't a manta ray a plankton eating?
They are, yeah.
No, I think they were
Maybe
studying them.
Studying them?
Yes, exactly.
I know they would come down here and catch devil rays.
They called them devil rays.
I mean, now the devil rays is just the MLB team in Tampa.
Yeah.
Well, because we have spotted eagle rays also.
I'll bet that's what it is.
Those are a lot more
it was
prevalent.
Definitely the big manta rays.
But a manta ray doesn't. Okay, I don't know.
You'd have to snag it.
You'd have to snag it
the
or
giant
run it over.
Devil ray.
I've seen them off of South Seas quite a bit, actually.
Really?
Swimming along like 50, 60 feet off of the beach.
Really? Wow. Yeah, we've seen some giants working on cruise ships because you're looking over the side, and those things weren't afraid of the ships. They would come right along.
They're such majestic creatures. Yeah, it's amazing.
Incredible.
And obviously you see dolphin all the time, I'm sure. Which people, how can you not like a dolphin? Do you like a dolphin? Obviously, we love dolphins.
I don't like
as a fisherman.
When I'm fishing, I don't want to see them. Right. But if we're running and like I see them, I'll slow down and throw a wake behind the bow and let them jump. Makes everyone happy. They love it. They love it. But if you're fishing, they try to get your... I don't want them scaring all the fish.
Is that what it is?
They can turn off my
You're
bite.
going to move, aren't you, if there's dolphin?
Well, depending. But like I was snapper fishing in the bushes the other day. And we were doing great. I mean, it was just nonstop. Every cast, we were catching a fish. And then this 2 or 3 dolphins rolled through and started swimming around. And then I'd throw a snapper back, and it would chase it, and it'd run all the way through where we're fishing. And then they don't want to eat anymore.
That's it. Time to move on. Yeah.
This is a devil ray.
So it is a manta.
That looks like a manta to me.
It does, yeah.
So apparently that's what they used to catch. I don't know how they did it, but...
Yeah.
Could be a folks tale.
Right. No, there's stories in the history books of them.
Interesting.
I think they were studying them for some reason, wanting to use them for something, but yeah.
So Tatum, you've got some other history on the island. Obviously, you've been here a long time, Max, and you went to Sanibel School for a short time together, and
4 years
preschool, I think.
Through preschool,
yeah, and then
Lexington too.
Off the island.
Yeah.
But you've also got some family history here, I understand. Yeah, your grandmother.
So my grandmother ran the Captiva Erosion Prevention District. So
this is on your mother's side.
Yes, she ran all the beach renourishments out on Sanibel or on Captiva. And so I grew up out there, and that's right next to the library.
And tell me what her name was.
Alison Hagerup.
Okay, so you might have seen a video that we did about that Alison Hagerup Park.
That's your grandmother? Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You didn't?
No. Yeah. We literally wrote that line, like Alison Hagerup Beach is named after Alison Hagerup.
So we just released a video.
I did not know that was your grandma.
You tagged me in it. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, he knows.
Nope, that was probably my mom or something. Dang, I did not know that. That's hilarious.
So basically, there's we just did a video about the top beaches on Sanibel and Captiva, and one of them is the Alison Hagerup Beach Park, and that's your grandmother. So it's so cool that she's had something to do with it.
And it was great. I grew up out there. She'd pick me up from school after we'd go to the rec center, and she'd pick me up from school and take me out back to work with her. I get to hang out there. And every Friday, no matter if I got in trouble or not, we had to go to Dairy Queen before we got off the island. It was a rule. I don't know who made the rule. Probably myself.
Right. And she's stuck
Not
with
a bad rule to have.
Right.
Whether you got in trouble or not. I like that.
Yeah. Did you always get the same thing? Or
oh, yeah.
Which is?
Cookie dough blizzard.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? But unfortunately, your grandmother passed away from cancer, and then that's the reason they named the beach after her.
Yeah, and they actually named it after her. They got it all finalized before she passed away when she was in hospice, so that she could actually get to see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I heard that story where they actually dedicated to her when she was in hospice. So wow, I have chills.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And she is buried in the cemetery by Chapel by the Sea.
Yep, if you go, it's the one with the giant mound of shells.
Yes, so a lot of her family and friends will take shells from the beach and actually place it around her stone just to.
Yeah, when we'll go every so often and like go clean it up, and we'll find people have left something new there, a candle or a little stone or something.
Right, yeah, because she did so much. I think she worked for like 20 years, a long time for the Captiva Erosion District. So makes our beautiful beaches that we have today.
And then my grandfather on the other side, he was the fire chief over here on Sanibel. His name was Charles Frederick.
Oh, okay.
That was when it was volunteer, I believe.
Okay.
So, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Do you know how long he worked for the fire department?
A long time. I'm not sure exactly, because I think he died. When was that? I was young. I was like 5.
Right.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So this was like 2004, 2005, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Long history. Island connection, and one of the rare breeds that have been here their entire life.
Yeah. Max moved here when he was 6 months old, so
doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Tatum was born here.
I hold that against my dad. He moved here when he was 2. He's not a cracker.
Yeah. He's not a cracker. That's funny.
And where's your dad from?
Michigan, actually, originally.
Really?
Yeah, my grandparents moved here in 79.
Okay, cool.
He was 2. So.
Yeah. Do you know what brought them here from Michigan?
No.
So it's so weird to think how people end up here. Like, I'm from Ohio, and here I am.
I've never asked that question.
Right. Yeah. Well, when we finish, go back to your dad.
I call my grandma.
Yeah. Exactly. So how does everybody find your fishing tour company? Do you know, online?
They love
it. Website?
No, I mean, it's like,
how do you find it?
Where contact information?
Yeah,
so you can just Google "Catch Me If You Can" or it's CatchMeIfYouCanFishingCharters.com.
Okay.
You're big on Instagram. You got
Instagram.
Is that Catch Me? Yeah, go ahead. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is capt.tadem, and that's more my personal. I mean, I post all my fishing stuff on there, but it's more my personal. And then you can just look up "Catch Me If You Can" on Instagram, and it'll show up too.
Do the hashtag.
Yeah. It actually is the name.
Is it? Okay.
Account.
Okay. Cool.
Do you get a lot of people DMing you on Instagram trying to get fishing charters?
This year, I got like 10 or 15 trips from Instagram.
Really?
Just from watching my stories, and like I had somebody book a permit trip a month and a half out. Because they wanted to go. And I don't know if you saw it. I posted, it was really rough that day. Mm-hmm. And I told the clients, I said,
I saw this.
You saw, I told the clients, I said, look, it's going to be really bad. We're not going to be able to do it. They said, we still want to go. I said, one of you is going to throw up. They said, that's okay. We'll puke and rally. I said, all right. And then I posted, 30 minutes later, I posted a video of somebody throwing up over the side of the boat.
I totally remember that.
God.
And that lady threw up for 4 hours straight. She was a trooper.
No, and did she regret the decision?
No, not at all.
She wanted
to go out again later in the week, and I couldn't take them.
No way.
What, you were offshore?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
They loved, and they were from Missouri. They had a great time.
Did they catch fish?
Yeah, we caught some bottom stuff, grouper, snapper. Yeah. We caught a nice gag grouper for dinner. Cool. A bunch of mangrove snapper for dinner. We didn't find any permit that day. It was pretty rough. Like, was it? It was like 4.5 foot seas. I had to do 16 miles an hour the entire way.
Oh, so you're basically riding between the troughing down there. Yeah.
They were soaking wet. I was sitting behind the console like this, so I was dry.
That's no fair.
How far did you go off on a day like that?
That day we only went 4.5 miles.
Yeah, and that was probably 4.5 too many.
Yeah.
Are you on Facebook too, or mostly Instagram?
Yeah, I don't post. Everything I post on Instagram automatically posts to Facebook.
Gotcha. Right.
Okay, check out Instagram. And then what's the telephone number?
239-210-8339.
All right, awesome. That's the hotline.
That's the hotline.
I had a question. What is the biggest fish you've ever caught?
I get this question a lot.
I bet you do. And I mean, every fish is different, but what's your biggest one?
So, I mean, I've caught 11-foot hammerheads.
There you go.
I caught a 9-foot tiger shark 4 miles offshore.
No way.
Here?
Yeah.
Were you shark fishing?
No.
You weren't even trying.
What were you going for?
I was fishing on the bottom, and I saw it swim up to the surface. And I looked at the clients. I was like, we're going to catch that. And I didn't have any of my big rods. I think we were sheep's head fishing that day, or snapper fishing. So I only had like my regular just snapper rods. And I said, well, I'll tie up a 100-pound leader to this and we'll see what happens.
No way.
Pitched out the biggest bait in the cooler, or in the live well we had, on a float. And this thing swam around like 4 or 5 times and finally just grabbed it and started swimming off. And I knew this rod could not handle it. So I immediately I have an anchor buoy, and I just threw the anchor and so it would float and we could chase that thing around for like 3 hours.
Did you?
And then got it boat side, and they took a couple videos of it like coming up to the boat, and then it broke off right there next to the boat. But
3 hours.
Wow. Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was a 4-hour charter, and we were 2 hours in when we hooked it. So I went over an hour over my time. I was like, we got to catch it.
We're in now. We got to do it.
And then I've caught like 300-pound Goliath groupers.
Yeah.
180-pound tarpon.
I guess the better question is, what's the best fish that you've caught?
What's your prize? What's your prized fish?
My biggest permit is 43 pounds.
And that's That's a large
one.
permit.
I have it hanging in my living room.
You do?
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to mount a tarp until I hit 200 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My
goal.
personal best is 170, so I need another 30 pounds before
You can take them out of the water then? You can?
No, so I get fiberglass reproductions of everything through Grille Taxidermy. I'm one of their agents, so I could just call them and say, hey, I need this. They go, all right, you'll have it in 3 weeks.
Oh, really? So you take a picture of it? Or
So you take pictures, measurements, girth measurements. So you need length, girth, approximate weight estimation.
That's awesome. They don't actually kill it just for that.
Yeah, and just really, because they have molds for everything now for every size. So you just take really good pictures, and their airbrush artists are fantastic.
Really?
And what's the name of the company?
Grille Taxidermy.
And they're over
in Miami.
Oh, in Miami?
Yeah, it's the largest fish taxidermy in the country.
Really?
Really?
Oh, very cool.
Is that G-R-A-Y or G-R?
G-R-A-Y.
A-Y, okay.
Oh, very cool.
Literally just from the measurements, they can reproduce the fish.
Mm-hmm. Measurements and pictures. And then they will actually, they will paint it off of your pictures.
Oh, so the colors match up and everything.
So it matches. Oh, yeah, their airbrush artists are amazing.
Really?
And then they will send you an email with the picture asking if it's okay or if you need anything tweaked on it.
No way.
Wow,
so
that's
it's
so cool.
super specific.
So I take it with that permit that's the one you really like going for best?
Yeah.
And what you said, you could go for reefs for those, or?
Yeah, I fish a lot of wrecks.
Oh, do you?
Permit. Or I'll find certain rock piles I'll hang out on. They can be so finicky, but sometimes I've been offshore where it's been glass calm and I've seen a school of 500 of them up on the surface, their fins sticking out of the water.
No way.
60 feet of water, like they're on the flats.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Do you see a lot of sea turtles out there? Obviously.
We see tons of them. So every little wreck that I go to has its own sea turtle.
Really? Resident sea turtle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you always see it there. It'll pop up like every 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the sea turtles.
I guess it's a good spot for fish, just like for everybody else. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the ecosystem out there is amazing. I've seen sailfish tail walk out there. I mean,
really?
So we usually have 10 to 15 sailfish sightings over here a year on the nearshore stuff. If you go way off, you'll catch them.
Right.
Have you ever caught one?
I've never caught a sailfish.
Yeah.
Ever tried?
I have. I had clients one day. We were using artificials. They were just trying to catch mackerel offshore, and because we were gonna throw live Spanish mackerel and drag them behind for kingfish, and I had them running these top waters, and I see this shape come real quick, just like I was like, what was that? And I climb up in the tower and I'm looking around. And then all of a sudden, it's like a 4.5 foot sailfish comes swimming, and I told him cast way past it and start reeling really quick, get it right up in front of it. And he did it, and it started chasing it, and then I said slow down, because he was getting too close to the boat. I'm like slow down, and he didn't listen, and he reeled it all the way back up to the boat. Sailfish swam up to the boat, looked at us, swam off.
No way! So he's following the bait, and then it takes you right to the lure.
Yeah.
So you should just leave it out there.
Well, I was like. No, because I was going to wait for the sailfish to catch up to the lure, and I was going to make him twitch it real hard a few times.
Oh, gotcha.
But
he didn't get that far.
He didn't listen.
He was too excited. The adrenaline was pumping.
I get it. It happens.
Yeah.
People make mistakes. It's purely based off their adrenaline going too hard, and they won't listen. 9 times out of 10, if you tell a person when they've hooked a fish to turn it to the left, they will turn it to the right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So I've started telling people turn it right because they'll turn it left.
You need to write R and L on the back of their hand or something.
It's just something. It's some kind of block in your brain that when that adrenaline gets going, you're gonna do the opposite of what you're told.
Right.
So so when you're turning the fish, you're trying to stop it running into mangroves or something?
Yeah, like if it's running straight back into the mangroves, depending on direction you're facing. But if it's like running to the right towards the mangroves, you want to turn its head to the left, try to get it back out that way, make up on it.
Because you're lost fish, and if they're in the mangroves.
The thing about fish is you want to constantly keep tension, pressure.
Right.
If you can constantly keep their head turned, you're gonna wear them out.
Oh, because it's half.
Yeah, I mean, think about if someone stuck their finger in your mouth and started pulling you this way.
Yeah, rather not.
It'll wear you out pretty quick.
Sounds pretty horrible.
But if someone just like rested their hand in your mouth, it's not going to do anything.
Right.
But if they're constantly pulling,
Gotcha.
you're going to get tired.
Against it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So, Max, I understand. Have you got a few? Are you ready for a bit of trivia, Max?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Tatum?
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
I wrote
come
a few
on.
questions. They are fishing
jeez.
questions. So, Mom, you might have your loss. Before we get started, I just want to thank our supporters: Spoondrift Island Bowls, Bailey's General Store, GatorBites Tail and Ale, the best gator in the nation, and 3 Crafty Ladies.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. So, there's 4 questions today.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how you do. Our first question. According to USA Today,
Jeez.
which by no means has any credibility in the fishing world, but I found this article, so we're going with it. There are how many species of catchable fish surrounding Sanibel and Captiva?
Could be millions, couldn't it?
It's USA Today. They know what they're talking about.
Catchable fish.
Catchable?
It said up to 50 fish are caught. 50 different species are pulled up every year.
But you just gave the answer, didn't you?
Oh.
I think
Have
50.
you got an answer? 50.
All right, good thing I wrote an extra question this week,
Okay,
and you guys aren't going to get this one.
Excellent, Max. Wow, that was good. Thanks
that
for
hurts.
that. It was too excited to get it out.
That
It was the adrenaline.
I would have got it though. When you take my had it, I knew it was 50.
for sure,
I knew it was
yeah.
50.
All right.
I was going to say 49, but
Yeah. But 50 is really low, though, I would think.
I feel like that's not high enough.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
feel
high
like it's
enough,
not
yeah.
high enough.
Well, it's USA Today. They must know what they're talking
I
about.
mean, I've
I
caught
don't know.
20 species in one day.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You're an expert.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right. Let's
Well,
start
anyway,
over
you're lucky
again,
I gave you
shall
guys
we?
that one. So you guys all get a point.
Yeah.
Now you won't get another
This
answer
is the
right.
easiest trivia I've ever done.
Me too.
All right. This is a question for Tatum.
Is this a question or an answer?
This is a question. Tatum, you and I are alumni of the Sanibel School.
Oh, yeah.
What year was it built in its current location?
Do I write it down or do I
Yeah,
tell
write
you?
it down. Write it down.
Not the. You're saying,
I said it. In its current
Oh,
location.
current location?
Yeah.
but not the
Oh.
expansion.
Not the expansion,
say
but
the expansion. He said it. The
where
current
was it? When
location.
was it built in its current location?
Okay.
Okay, so when it moved from right. Okay,
Oh yeah, tell us where. Yeah, tell us, Mom, all your knowledge about the school, and then
I won't.
get the year wrong.
I probably will.
I messed this up already.
Okay.
Because it used to be where
On Periwinkle.
on Periwinkle.
Yes.
Now it's on Sandcap Road.
Right. And you can actually visit the original schoolhouse in the Sanibel Historical Village.
I think I wrote the date for the original one.
No, I think, gotcha.
All right, quick then, Max.
All right. You can change it, Tatum, if you want.
I can't remember the other one.
All right, Dad, you go first.
I put 1971.
I put 65.
1883.
That is not it. It is 1963.
Yes.
So
okay.
mom in the
One
lead.
point.
Mom in the lead with 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah, so they moved. It was also the year that they integrated the schools. The first school in the
Correct.
county to integrate
Yes.
black students and white students.
That's correct. Yes.
And then a year before the law was passed, and then 5 years before Lee County,
right.
which is pretty impressive.
Yes.
That is.
That's true.
All right, now we've talked about these
So
earlier in the
1,
episode.
2, 1, just to make sure.
Sure,
we got the score.
they
Yeah,
don't
okay.
get the
Sorry.
point. I gave them the answer. It doesn't count.
Okay.
It's 1-0.
Okay, 1-0. Okay.
Well, that's not fair.
I can't believe I gave away the answer. I'm so mad.
Especially
I'm
as I knew
so
it
mad.
anyway.
Such a great question, too. The Sanibel Causeway is famous for its Goliath groupers. Right, Tatum?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, what is the largest Goliath grouper ever caught?
Oh, I got this.
Not just Sanibel Causeway, though,
Oh, jeez.
Oh, in the world?
in the world. But
There was a recent.
Don't give it away, Dana.
Yeah, there was a recent
There was a-
record, I believe it was.
there was a recent... the next question is about Sanibel, but this is all time.
This, I have no clue. All right,
Okay.
Go on,
All right,
Nick.
Tatum, go first.
685.
Oh, jeez.
Mom?
I'm way low. I put 250.
Oh, no.
I caught one of those this year.
put 550.
Tatum's the closest. I have 680, but it could be 685. Yeah, 680 pounds in Fernandina
Wow.
Beach.
Ooh.
Where's
in
that?
1961, it was caught.
Where's that beach?
Fernandina Beach.
Where's that?
I have no idea.
Who knows?
It's in Florida.
It's in Florida. Okay.
It's somewhere, and this is actually not USA Today's answer. This is
good.
the official international fishing, whatever it's
Ooh.
called.
So it's
Yeah.
the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wow!
Yeah, it holds the record.
It holds the record for. It's called the all tackle record.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Which I didn't know was a thing until I looked up these questions.
Well, there are different class sizes.
Yeah. So what does that mean? The different tackle.
There's like light, medium, and heavy, or unlimited. Like all tackle would be that. I don't know exactly what the size requirements are for the different classes, but like I know there's one like under 30-pound test, and yeah. So so
you can have the record for the smallest tackle.
Yeah,
the biggest fish.
You could have the biggest sailfish under 30-pound test, or the biggest. So
can you explain that? I've already heard that test. What does that mean?
It's the pound rating. It's what the strength of the line. Yeah.
So it can take 30 pounds of force being pulled on it.
A 30 pounds is pretty strong. Like braid, because I use braid on all my reels, and then I use fluorocarbon leaders. Braid, I use 40-pound braid for tarpon. So depending, if I'm fishing them deeper, like if I was to fish them in Boca Grande Pass, I'll fish 50-pound. But otherwise I use 40-pound. So it has a lot more strength than you would think, because you can put a lot of pressure on a 150-pound fish. Like it can handle it pretty well.
Right. But you don't have bigger because otherwise they see it. Is that correct? Or is it?
I am further down in the size more so for casting. I like to be able to cast farther at fish, lead fish more. And then your leader is the important part. That's the part that is the clear line,
right? That
you tie to the braid so that they don't see the line.
Oh, gotcha.
It seems so technical.
Oh,
the fish is so.
Some days I'm using 60-pound leader. Some days I'm using 80 pounds. Some days I have to drop down to 40.
So the test doesn't have to do with the actual size of the fish though, because you're catching a 180-pound fish on 40-pound test or 50-pound test. It's what they've tested it to withstand, which fluorocarbon and monofilament stretch. So that you have a little leeway there too. Like most of the time I use 60-pound leader for tarpon because they chafe. You don't want them to chafe through everything.
Oh, they got really sharp.
Their mouths are like sandpaper. It would be like
really?
80 grit sandpaper. Like my hands look fantastic right now during tarpon season.
I was thinking that too.
During tarpon season, there's slices and cuts, and they look like you've taken a palm sander with 80 grit and sanded my hands down.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
They're just rough. Sharp and rough.
Yeah, it's just rough. Yeah, you wouldn't want me to shake your hand.
All right, so
this is question
we're now
number
moving
4.
to Sanibel.
Okay.
And according to a few articles,
0.
This is the largest bottom feeding fish ever caught on a kayak. Was also caught on Sanibel.
All right, repeat that. I was glazed over.
The largest bottom feeding fish ever caught from a kayak was a Goliath grouper off of Sanibel.
Okay.
And as far as I can tell, it is the largest Goliath grouper ever caught off Sanibel.
So this is not
How
the
much
world
did it weigh?
record
It's not the world record, but the Sanibel record
of Goliath grouper caught off a.
This was going to be a tiebreaker. To be fair, this is going to be a tiebreaker question, but I kind of messed up the first question.
Oh, you don't have another question?
No.
All right, I've got it.
So the largest ever fish caught on Sanibel, or Goliath caught on Sanibel,
all right.
as far as I can find on the internet.
All right, what do you got, Nick?
I got 330.
I put 575.
I've got 550.
Tatum's exactly right again. It's 552. Yeah, 552 in 2015, and he caught it on a kayak.
Was that the Causeway?
Yeah, at the Causeway. I don't know how.
I think we'd tip over.
How do you catch a 500-pound fish on a
for a long ride on that?
Very carefully.
Yeah.
He must have gone for a long ride on that kayak.
Winner.
Oh, yeah. Once you hook it. I guess, do you ever do kayak? Yeah, congrats, Tatum.
Congrats.
Do you ever do kayak fishing, Tatum?
No, I have a boat.
Yeah. Why would you?
I guess you have a motor.
I guess if you're on a kayak, you just let the fish drag you, don't you?
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do.
Really?
Have you ever seen any of Ben Chancey's videos?
Mm-mm.
Ben Chancey started the whole YouTube fishing movement,
really?
Like early YouTube days. It's called Chew on This.
Mm-hmm.
And he started it with the Goliath grouper. That's pretty much all he does. Goliath grouper and sharks. Like that's his major stuff that he does. And he does a lot of the skits, and he'll do it in like rafts and like these stupid little things he'll use to catch. He'll sit in them and catch Goliath grouper.
Just try to challenge himself.
Yeah, it's crazy the stuff he's pulled off. And then I saw this year there was a kid that does the kayak thing. He travels and kayak fishes. He caught a swordfish with Nick Stanzik down in the Keys.
Shut up.
In a kayak.
That's so sketchy.
It might have been up in Venice, Louisiana. It was one of the two. I can't remember which. It was either with Blake Rigby in Venice or it was with Nick Stanzik down in the Keys. But yeah, he swordfish in a kayak.
That seems so sketchy.
No, you know what? It was with Nick, and then he caught a yellowfin tuna up in Venice, Louisiana.
So it must have been doing about 30 miles an hour on his kayak.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There was a guy in Costa Rica that this year or last year caught it was like a 450-pound blue marlin.
Really?
In a kayak?
From a kayak.
It dragged him 15 miles offshore.
Oh gosh, that's scary.
That's ridiculous.
No, thank you.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you let it? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on that. Now he's got to get it back. Did he get it back? Oh, he'd probably just let it go.
Oh, let them go. Yeah, you let those go.
But you can't.
Unless they die.
Oh yeah, and then you throw it over your feet on the kayak. Yeah, just
it took him 7 weeks to paddle it back.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Old man in the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dad, you want to close us off?
Yeah. We haven't got another question?
No,
I ruined the first question.
Sorry.
I don't want to hear any more about it. All right.
Tatum already rang the bell.
So I won?
No.
Oh, okay.
For the 73rd episode in a row, Dad, you have lost.
All right. So can't stress this enough. Make sure you check out Tatum. His dad's also a great fisherman, and your partner's name I forget. But go to Catch Me If You Can Charters. They do a fantastic job. Some of the best in the area. They're going to get you put on fish, and if you go with them, I'm sure you'll come back again. So
maybe.
Maybe. But check them out. Thanks very much for joining us. Thanks, Tatum, for joining us. And,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, my name's Nick.
I'm Lori.
Tatum.
Max.
Hey, have a great one, guys. Thanks very much.